I've made this swim like 3 times now, and I still have not been attacked by a shark. So there's that.
What? What the fuck?
Jesus! I mean, I didn't say there weren't sharks here. I said I haven't been attacked by one.
My disappointment is immeasurable, and my day is ruined.
Was that 2 of them? Was that 2 of them?
Of course!
The damage you've done to yourself is way beyond anything else that can happen to you from me or any other judge that would be sentencing you in this criminal case. You are now a permanently convicted felon. Your family, who loves you and supports you, I only want to use the word forgive because forgiveness isn't even necessary. They're with you so much, they're so tight-knit, but you have to live with the fact that you really put them through a ringer. You've embarrassed your valuable friends in high places, the elected public officials, people in the media. You've embarrassed them. You have to live with that. I don't know if those relationships can be repaired. You've become toxic in your own workplace. Your career future is uncertain at very best. It was really on a rocket ship to success, and now you've turned yourself into riches to rags, and it's so unfortunate. Your very name has become an adverb for lying, and I cannot imagine what could be worse than that. I'm trying to consider who you are as a person, how you got here, how somehow you strayed away from your family values. You let that dark, narcissistic, selfish, and arrogant side come out, and you persisted with it for years on this case. I'm fashioning the following sentence, and here's your sentence. I'm sentencing you to 30 months felony probation, and the probation is going to be to this court. You're going to be allowed to travel wherever you want. You do not have to live in the state of Illinois. You can report by phone. I know that if you're going to try to make a living and do some of the things you do, you may have to go to other places, New York and Los Angeles. You can do those things. You will pay restitution to the city of Chicago in the amount of $120,106. You are fined $25,000, which is the maximum fine. And you will spend the first 150 days of your sentence in the Cook County Jail. And that will start today, right here, right now.
No, I would just like to say to Your Honor that I am not suicidal. That's what I would like to say.
Okay.
I am not suicidal.
Okay.
I am not suicidal. I am innocent, and I am not suicidal. If I did this, then it means that I stuck my fist in the fears of Black Americans in this country for over 400 years and the fears of the LGBTQ community. Your Honor, I respect you and I respect the jury, but I did not do this. And I am not suicidal. And if anything happens to me when I go in there, I did not do it to myself. And you must all know that. I respect you, Your Honor. I respect your decision. Jail time. I am not suicidal.
Okay. Mr. Uche, let me inquire, are there any post-sentencing motions you care to present? Court is adjourned.
I am not suicidal. I am not suicidal, and I am innocent. I could have said that I was guilty a long time ago.
And a very good afternoon to everybody. How's everybody doing today? I hope you guys are doing incredibly. I'm your host, Armando Ortega, and welcome back to another episode of the Mind of Mando. Today, yeah, it's my Monday, and it is Monday, but, throughout work today, just like, I can't wait to go home and do certain things. Well, on my way home, I stopped by the store, and I ended up actually buying a couple of things that I couldn't buy this past weekend, and they have a deal on a 12-pack of Capri Suns. Better believe it that I loaded up on those babies. But I wanted to talk about two things today. And the first one is about a person we haven't talked about in months. I believe months. Oh, actually, that actually brings me to one thing. Last month, February, I forgot to make a very special episode, but it has a bit of. Let me speak again. It has officially been just over a year since my first episode of The Mind of Mando. Thank you, everybody who has been listening to me for this entire year. Being dumb. I hope the quality of the episodes have improved. I hope everything I can put into these episodes, the editing, the music, the sound quality, everything has improved, and only moving up from here. So here's to another year. I'm drinking water, so if you guys are drinking anything else, that's cool. What else? Also, what I remember. Oh yeah. So back to what I was originally saying. One person that we haven't talked about in such a long time is Mr. Jussie Smollett. For you guys who either don't remember or just never really heard about what's been going on, Jussie Smollett is the actor from Empire, who I think back in 2018, was it? Here, let me look it up. I have an article pulled up right in front of me. Let's see. Oh no, not behind a paywall. All right, there we go. What is it? That's a sentencing. I'm sorry, guys. I'm like hella unprofessional. I researched everything else except for when he originally this happened. I believe it was in 2018. Yeah, okay, in 2018. In 2018, Mr. Smollett, the actor from that episode Empire that, you know, I just never heard about. He called the police one day to his house and everything to report a crime. The crime was that he was leaving a Subway sandwich shop, with some Subway, of course, and heading back to his place in Chicago. And he was approached by two white men, both wearing MAGA hats, both talking to him in slurs and everything, like, aren't you that fag from Empire and everything, and just being dicks, like just being jerks, you know. Well, what ended up happening, according to Jussie, was that those two racist men started beating him up, started fighting him and beating him up. But of course, Jussie, being the Empire star he is, fought back bravely, fought back tough and everything. Just made sure that everybody knew, despite if he lost, that he was no punk. Good on him, right? Of course. So those two guys managed to get the upper hand because there was two of them, only one of Jussie. So they ended up beating him down, I think pouring some bleach on him, and then putting a noose around his neck, going, "This is MAGA country, boy," and then just dipping, never to be found again. And to this day, and that had, like I said, that was in 2018. Actually, hold on. Actually, correction, not 2018. January of 2019. Wow. What? That was already 4 years ago. Holy crap. So, how do you call it? So, yeah. So, he ended up, those two guys, 4 years later, have never been caught. All right. Here's the thing. So, when the police were called, they arrived to his house, and everything. They started doing their questioning, their investigation and everything. You see Jussie right there. Look at him. Right there. With that weird thing around his neck. No, that's not a new style. That's not a new chain that all the cool people are wearing nowadays. That is a piece of rope. And that tangled mess is supposed to be a noose. Well, anyways, he was there to make sure that the cops saw it. You know? being like, look, these guys, these two random guys, never seen them before, they're racist, they try to beat me up, and they did all this whatever, and they put bleach on me and this and that, and they left the noose around my neck and said all these slurs. Well, anyways, the investigation happened, and as the investigation kept going ahead and kept going ahead and kept going ahead, more and more info was uncovered, correction. And the information that was uncovered was actually not in Jussie's favor. What do I mean by that? Well, when the investigation continued and more interviews and questionings was happening with Smollett and who knows what else, little by little stories started getting mixed up. Stories started kind of like changing a little bit here and there, which is, very common when it comes down to people who have something to hide. So the investigation continued, and the thing about it is there are cameras out there, especially in a place like Chicago. Especially in places like Chicago, you need to have cameras. So in order to protect your assets, in order to protect yourself, and if God forbid a crime were to happen where your camera is in the prime spot, pointing in the prime space, it's there to capture it, to aid investigations, to bring justice to those who have been wronged. Well, so what had happened was a video camera captured the assault, the battery of Mr. Smollett by those two guys. But you know what else that camera captured? Captured Mr. Smollett with those two guys in the same spot just a day before. Was it a day before? Yeah, I believe so. Let me see. Camera catches Jussie Smollett. Yeah, right? Oh, here's the article from the New York Post back in November 30th, 2021. Jury sees video of Jussie Smollett in dry run a day before alleged hate attack. Let me just read this off to you guys. Embattled Empire actor Jussie Smollett was caught on surveillance video doing a dry run one day before his alleged hate crime attack, prosecutors said at his trial in Chicago Tuesday. Prosecutors contend the footage confirms that actor faked the January 29th, 2019 alleged attack with Nigerian brothers Abimbola and Olabinho Osundairo, who are expected to be key witnesses for the prosecution in the case. Oh my god. Smollett's lawyers claim that the actor was really attacked by the two brothers. Prosecutors poked a hole in the claim Tuesday, revealing a text message sent by Smollett to one of the siblings a couple of weeks after the alleged attack, the Chicago Tribune reported. "Brother, I love you," Smollett wrote in Nambola Osundairo on February 14, 2019. "I stand with you. I know 10,000% you and your brother did nothing wrong and never would." let me lower the music. I love the music, but it's kind of loud. Okay, there we go. So yeah, how dumb do you have to be, really, to do a dry run of your fake attack in the exact spot that you're gonna do it? Like, dude, it's just like, I'm sorry, please, nobody take what I'm saying next as any advice to do wrong. I'm just saying you gotta be smart about this, that people that just don't understand. It's like, if you're ever gonna, like, when you're planning a trip or you're planning where things are at or anything like that. I know I did this before, like a few days before I moved down here to San Diego, like 6.5 months ago. What I did was open Google Maps. We have it here since 2007. Open Google Maps, go to satellite view, zoom in into an area and be like, okay, here's one place, here's another place, these are the roads, names. Hey, you see this little alleyway right here tucked away next to this business? Yeah, that might be a good spot, you know? And just do that. Just do that. You know, when you're walking around, instead of being just focused on your phone while walking down the street, I hate that. I hate that so much. Like, you know how much bad stuff can be prevented by just putting your stuff away and looking straight ahead and just going on your business and everything. Like, people were surprised that they're walking out looking at their phones with both their hands on their phones, just texting away or whatever, and then some random fool just passes by, swipes that thing, and just runs, dips, and that's it. And then you turn around, you're like, oh, I could chase him. Unless you don't run, then you're like, oh, well, I guess that phone's gone forever. Well, it's just, when you're walking, how about you put your phones down or whatever and just look around? Just look up. There's beauty in the world. There's birds singing, flying. Trees are super green. Appreciate the architecture. Whether it's a new building or it's been around for 100 years or more or anything, and it's still standing, just appreciate the beauty. And while you're appreciating the beauty, the art, the craftsmanship, everything, hey, look, a security camera, and it looks to be pointing this way. This is the area. Okay. So yeah, it's just like there were smarter ways of doing it, but I'm glad he did it this way, because ultimately, as everybody knows, he's been caught. He's been caught lying. He's been caught doing the dry run of his supposed hate crime attack. And it's it's so tough. It's just like, dude, like, even if you had to be there in person, it's like, why not do the dry run? I don't know. My cats are having the zoomies. They're chasing each other right now. Why not have the dry run, I don't know, like a couple of months up before, like maybe 6 months up before, you know? Because the reason I'm assuming the reason that those cameras were like, you know, reviewed even just for the night before, it would probably be like, hey, let's see if those two guys who attacked this actor frequent the area. Let's see that. Let's just review some stuff. Maybe they frequent the area. If they're going past a month, maybe even past 2 months, and they don't see those two guys ever in the area, it's kind of like, well, I guess they don't frequent here. I guess it's just a dead end. But no, this fool decided to do it the night before, run the dry run, and then, all right, tomorrow night we're doing it. So yeah. So anyways, he ended up getting caught. He ended up getting arrested, and he ended up getting charged with a bunch of stuff. And let me see if I can find what else was said. Okay, yeah. So yeah, well, anyways, he was arrested later on that year. I think soon after this whole thing was happening, because things started really, like, you know, like coming out to light. Well, anyways, so what had happened after that was that a whole long trial was going on in the courts, the juries, all that stuff, you know. Well, yeah. So you know, just he was going out and giving talks like, I fought back, because, you know, in the end of the day, you can't fake hey, I got attacked because it was a hate crime story, and just be like, you took it like a wimp. No, you had to be like, I fought back and everything. And just like people were cheering for him. This fool later on came out being like, hey, yeah, maybe I altered the truth a little bit. I don't know. Well, anyways, here's the thing. The reason I'm not saying that he admitted to this being fake is because of what happened once he was convicted and everything. So in 2021, yes, judge sentenced Smollett to 30 months of felony probation with 150 days served in Cook County Jail in order that he pay $120,106 in restitutions to the city of Chicago and $25,000 fine. To us, that may seem a lot. You know, we don't have that type of money, the average working man. But to a big, prestigious, famous, and gay French black man who was an actor in Empire, all that money is nothing. Nothing at all. What is it? He had to pay a total of $145,106. You think that's a lot for him? I don't know, maybe, I don't know his wallet, but it's a very, 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 very likely thing that it isn't. Not at all. 30 months of felony probation. That's it. Well, here's the thing. So after he was sentenced, as you guys saw in the video, he said, if I did this, then it means that I stuck my fist in the fears of Black Americans in this country for over 400 years, and the fears of the LGBTQ community. Your Honor, I respect you and I respect the jury, but I did not do this. I am not suicidal, and if anything happens to me when I go in there, I did not do it to myself, and you must all know that. I am innocent. He yelled, raising his fist. I could have said I am guilty a long time ago. It's embarrassing. This is me talking now. This is embarrassing because it's like the evidence has been stacked against Mr. Smollett about the whole, like, hey, we have the footage of you doing the dry run the night before with the two guys. Not only that, your story has changed here and there, which is another indication. 3, the two brothers who weren't even white, who you paid to carry out the attack, came by to testify against you.
We were the ones that did it. Yeah, it was us. It was a crazy scene that Jussie put on. He even said,
I would not be my mother's son if I was capable of one drop of what I have been accused of.
I'm like, dang, you ain't your mother's son, buddy. Because this dude
better get that birth certificate.
Right. I was down to do it because if we do this for him, he could probably help us out with our careers.
Hitting Fox Nation March 13th, the series goes into timeline detail about the attack and how Jussie choreographed the whole thing like a script that he was directing. And the brothers take us back to the scene.
This is where we waited for Jussie to come before we attacked him. After I threw him to the ground, I used my knuckle and gave him a noogie to give him a mark, to make it look real.
That's where I came around with the bleach, the infamous bleach in the hot sauce bottle.
I remember the detective that put that footage together. We all both thinking, that don't look like two white guys walking down the street.
We was in character the whole time.
So you think you guys are believable white supremacists?
100%.
There are text messages that have been seen. There is footage that the jury has seen. Literally everybody is pointing at you being like, you fake this, and here's all the evidence. And Smollett is just like, I'm innocent. I never did that. And this is the part that also annoys me, is the fact that after he got his sentence and everything like that, dude, 30 months of felony probation, yeah, that sounds a lot, but it's just like, you guys also heard what the whole thing was that came along with it, aside with the 150 days served in Cook County Jail, which, by the way, Smollett only served, out of those 150 days, he only served 6 days before posting bail and then waiting for his appeal. Only 6 days. God, it must be nice to be famous with money. And what do you call it? The judge told him, was like, after doing all that stuff, be on probation, you don't have to live here in this county or anything, or this city. If you have to go to this area or this country or whatever, we're not gonna stop you. It's your work and everything. I was like, wow, that's like one of the greatest sentences you could ever do for being a dumbass. It's like you did something horrendous. Well, not as horrendous as a lot of other things, but still, it was really dumb, and it's like really like I have secondhand embarrassment for this fool, and it's just like you got caught, and you're sticking to your story despite everybody on the planet Earth believing, or actually knowing, that you're a liar, and how do you call it? And it's just like, and you only served 6 days out of 150. Aside from paying those fines, you get to still travel the country. You still get to travel the country. You still get to travel the world. You still get to like go out and act and make money or whatever you're doing and everything like that. You're still able to do that. I was like, I thought you were in trouble. Apparently not. Apparently, like, you know, those type of people are just a little different level than we are. Well, after that, this fool was doing podcasts talking about his whole experience, you know, after his convictions and everything like that. And the thing that also annoys me is just the fact that after he received the conviction, this guy was like, I am not suicidal. I am not suicidal. For the record, I am not suicidal. Why did he have the need to say that and everything? Well, if you guys also recall, around that time is that whole, was it the Jeffrey Epstein thing going on? Let me look it up. So, Jeffrey Epstein. When did he die? Okay, 2019. Yes. So, yeah. Just a few months after, like 7 months after that whole incident with Jussie Smollett and then being found out and everything like that, it was breaking news that Jeffrey Epstein died while in his cell, you know, because the cameras, you know, shut down unexpectedly, and he died by hanging. You know, the story goes is that the cameras went haywire, and when the guards went to his cell, they saw that he committed suicide by hanging himself, and of course nobody believes that. Of course nobody believes that, but that is the story. And how do you say it, and a bunch of other stories coming out being like people just died, they killed themselves while they were in their cell, and it's like covering up as a suicide when in reality it was, you know, foul play and everything behind the scenes. Well, this fool goes like, I am not suicidal. I'm not suicidal. I just want to let you know I'm not suicidal. And it's just like, okay, why would you be suicidal? No one's gonna kill you because you're dumb and embarrassed yourself, man. No one's coming after you for that or anything, you know? It's like you think it has to do with a race thing. You know, there's a lot of black people in prison. Does it have to do with a gay thing? No, I don't think so, because there's a lot of gay people in prison too. How do you think they get their urges out and everything? It has to happen some way. And it's like, why would you ever be suicidal? No one wants to kill a B tier actor in jail for being dumb. It's like, you didn't hurt anybody else. You didn't hurt kids. You didn't do anything that warrants people looking at you and be like, you have a target on your back, boy, or anything. It's just this whole thing of wanting to bring irrelevant stuff to put you in a better light. And like, if I did this, then it means that I stuck my fist in the fears of black Americans in this country for over 400 years and the fears of the LGBT community. If you really believe that, guess what? You yourself know that you stuck your fist in the fears of the black Americans in the country for over 400 years and the fear of the LGBT community and everything. You did that. And it's just like, and on top of that, who even brought them up in the first place? Nobody. You did, actually. No, I'm wrong. You did. You're the only one who did that. I don't know why I'm talking to him. It was like, he's not even here. He's never gonna listen to this. It's dumb. Well, that thing like really annoys me, because it's like your crime wasn't like, yeah, it's felony warranted, but it wasn't something that was damaging physically, emotionally, financially for anybody else. If anything, those two brothers made it like clean. They still got their money and everything, as far as I know. And how do you call it? And Jussie served only 6 days in jail. Nobody else was hurt. So it's just like, oh my God, it's why? Like, why would you do that? So yeah, so he does all this stuff, all of it, and for some reason he gets one of the lightest sentences possible. Do I wish he probably got longer? Maybe, to teach him a lesson, but other than that, like I said, it wasn't too bad that it was just like, oh, you're a horrible person. But also, it's like, you see, I hate using this word. I really hate using this word, but I feel like it does apply to this scenario right here. The absolute privilege that the wealthy and the famous have in this country. Because we all know that if it was some average Joe like you or I who did anything near like this, guess what? Not only would we probably get either the same or even worse fine than this fool got, but our sentence would be heavier. And we wouldn't have probably been out for bail either. So it's like, it's just the pure unfairness. Like, it's crazy. And it annoys me because this fool, to this day, will hold on to that whole story of, I never did this. I am innocent. I am not lying. You are lying, fool. Stop it. So yeah, let me drink some water. Like, we've been talking too much. Oh man. Excuse me. So that was just the update of Mr. Smollett and everything in his embarrassing self, you know. Anyways, take a look at this.
I've heard from a great many people that this is not necessary, that this is just a resolution. It has no teeth. It has no bearing in law. It is just what you are saying from behind your podium. But look around. People are listening.
This city and this state, as already has been made clear, is not a safe place to be queer. I have been harassed. I have been threatened just to be able to feel safe in my own home in this city. I know what it looks like to see and witness a trans person finding themselves due to proper medical care. Have you?
Trying to talk your child down from killing himself because he feels he is not accepted. Then going to school and having the principal tell us it's not their problem. My child cannot be normal. My child is who he is. One place I went to refused to cut my child's hair because he was getting a boy cut.
My principal says that we're not normal. That me and my friends are human beings because we wear different clothes and we have different pronouns. Everyone is normal. There's nothing that isn't normal about us.
It's asinine, honestly, that people just can't be grown adults and respect people for who they are, carte blanche.
I'm a trans man and I'm a minor. I'm not a Christian, but I want to say, isn't something y'all live by, is love thy neighbor. Well, I don't feel loved.
This is very hard to kind of talk about, mainly because even with wearing a mask on my face, I feel like I'm kind of protected. Hearing people say that this isn't necessary or that this kind of hatred doesn't exist at all in Tulsa. And that seems to only come from people who are heterosexual and Christian.
My life is being turned upside down due to hate and fear of people like me who just want to live our lives in peace.
Our best medical and scientific evidence shows that the parts of my brain that are associated with my perception of my gender were formed during fetal development. I was born this way, and God did not make a mistake.
We make Tulsa better because we are in it, and we deserve the same protection, safety, and support that heterosexual Tulsans experience every day.
So what do you think that they're crying about there? Like, you would think that their whole, oh, people don't look at me as normal. Oh my God, it's not safe. Yada yada, all that stuff. You would think they're living in a place where they are actively being just persecuted because of their sexual orientation, because of what their sexual preference is, how they identify as, and everything like that. That's reasonable because of that type of emotion, that type of basically waterworks. You want to know the real reason as to why they are crying that way? Because of this article right here. Tulsa City councilors hesitate on affirming city as welcoming to LGBTQ residents. Sounds horrible at first, right? A little bit. It's like, oh, Tulsa City, Tulsa, Oklahoma, they don't want LGBTQ here. They don't want us here. We're not welcome. We're not welcome or anything. No. article begins by saying the fate of a proposed city council resolution that would designate Tulsa as a safe, inclusive, and welcoming community remains unclear. The potential sticking point seems to be the language in which the resolution that reaffirms the city's commitment to fostering a safe, inclusive, and welcoming city for everyone, and this is where it starts, the quotes, regardless of sexual orientation, gender identity, or gender expression. Well, that doesn't sound bad, right? Being like, hey, Tulsa, Oklahoma, we welcome everybody, regardless of what you are, who you are. Here's the reason why they're mad. So apparently the proposed bill wants to add that last part, regardless of sexual orientation, gender identity, or gender expression. Not because the city dislikes people who enjoy, like, love the same gender or identify something else. No, the reason they're crying about this is because the city councils are like, we want to welcome everybody, but adding that last part just seems really repetitious. It seems really unwarranted, and that's the reason they're crying.
Counselor Jeannie Q, who assured colleagues that she has gay friends and family, said she believes her constituents are against the resolution despite the good intentions.
I think we can preach that every day without a resolution.
And Counselor Christian Bingle said it's repetitive and opposed to council's statement that won't speak for everyone.
That's it. So it's just like, I understand that part. All right. I understand that part because it's like, so imagine you wanting to be treated as an equal. For whatever reason, you're an equal to other people. You want to be treated as an equal. An entire city goes like, hey, come here. You're welcome here. We won't judge you. Usually people would be like, hey, that's cool. I like this city. That's great. They're not going to judge me. I'm being seen as an equal. They're saying, hey, welcome, friend. Come here. But no. What these people here in Tulsa, Oklahoma want is to have a part of the welcoming speech to specifically mention LGBTQ. Specifically. And at that point, it's like, well, it doesn't seem like you want to be treated like everybody else. It actually sounds more like you want to be treated favorably. Oh, you know, we're still not safe around the world. Nobody's safe around the world. Nobody. You just got to look from different perspectives. In the Middle East, do you think it's still freedom of religion over there? No, not in many places. Do you know what happens to the people who get caught worshiping anything else but what they believe their dominant religion is over there? They get death. Everywhere else in the world, it's about race. Doesn't matter the amount of melanin in your skin or the lack of. It's about race. Other places about gender. Other places about sexual orientation, identity, etc., etc. Nobody is safe anywhere. But you have a place going like, hey, we welcome everybody. Everybody. Come here, Tulsa, Oklahoma. Oh, but can you please put that the LGBTQ is also welcome? It's like you're included with everybody because you are an equal to us. You are not seen as anybody different. You are not seen as something different from the rest because you are equal to the rest. You are another human being who deserves the equal amount of respect as everybody else here. Oh, but we don't feel safe. And they're like, okay, well, now you're not wanting to be equal. Now you want to be special. And it's like, no, that's not how it works. You can't have it both ways. You can't have it your way all the time, basically. If you want to be treated like an equal, when you get treated like an equal, you have to recognize it. Because the day that you no longer get referred to by your gender or your identity or anything is the day you should really just realize, hey, I'm just looked like as everybody else. And if you see that, if you realize that and you think, yeah, no, that's a bad thing, I don't know, maybe you don't want equality. But that's really the only reason. It's just because the welcoming speech doesn't specifically state LGBTQ. That's the only reason. And it's like, what a world we live in. Really, it's just like you can't be like, hey, we welcome everybody, but do you welcome the gays? Do you welcome the minorities? But do you welcome women and men? But do you welcome dogs? Do you welcome cats and fish? It's like, if you have to explain or specify specific groups, it just makes, hey, everybody's welcome, redundant. You just might as well write a list for every single thing in the world that is welcome to Tulsa, Oklahoma. And by that point, you're going to be like, wow, this list is very, very, very lengthy and never ending. Wouldn't it be easier if we just grab everything and just make one singular statement that covers everything? Like, hey, everyone's welcome. And you're right back where you started. It's it's the dumbest thing in the world. I swear to God. Well, anyways, I don't have anything else to say about that. I'm just leaving it off with this. I hope you guys are enjoying the music in the background throughout this entire episode. This video I'm actually playing right now is called Medieval Fantasy Tavern, D&D fantasy music and ambiance. I actually like it. First time actually hearing it. My boy and I, we've been playing a lot of the Sons of the Forest lately. Very fun, very exciting game, and honestly, it's just, I'm glad I got it. I just got to get an SSD for my computer because I am running out of space and I need more space. So yeah. Other than that, have nothing else to say for this episode, except I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day. Take care of yourselves and take care of each other. Look both ways before you cross the street, because I swear to God, I feel like more people are getting hit by cars lately. It's weird. But other than that, until next time, guys, take it easy. See ya.